Whether you're 5 years old or 50 years old, it's hard to resist the smile when you look at a Martian cupcake. This video will show you how easy it is to make these delightful treats. Start by making a batch of cupcakes and frosting them with a light green frosting. You want cupcakes with a slight dome to them to give the face more depth. No matter how careful you are in frosting these cupcakes, you're going to have valleys and peaks that are not going to look right when the cupcakes are decorated. So what you need to do is frost them with a light crusting frosting. What I prefer is a tub of Duncan Hines classic vanilla frosting beaten with 1 stick of room temperature butter. This provides a crusting frosting that can be smoothed and worked, and yet is not so brittle that it cracks. It also tastes pretty good too. Depending on your humidity, after 1 or 2 hours, a crust will form over the surface of the frosting, so it can be smoothed. Put a piece of paper kitchen toweling on top of it, I prefer Viva, and then lightly stroke the top through the paper towel to smooth out any wrinkles. And what you should end up with is a near perfectly smooth cupcake. This will make the face look much more realistic. During the smoothing process, if some of the frosting mushrooms over the edge, wipe it down to create a nice circular shape. One thing to be careful of is to frost all the way over the edge of the cupcake liner. If that isn't done, the resulting faces will look like they have lace collars around them. And as we all know, Martians do not wear lace collars. The most important step in making these cupcakes is to give them a bright, jubilant smile. I found the most consistent way to do that is to use a bamboo skewer and start by drawing a 60-degree V that goes almost to the edge. Then, using the other end, scoop out the smile that you want, making a half circle here and sort of a downward chin-shaped curve to the bottom. The reason you have to hollow this out is if you try to pipe the mouth in, the frosting lays on top of the face and it ends up looking more like lips. Then when you put the tooth on, it looks like the tooth is floating in mid-space. By digging out this frosting and then filling in with black, you create a true hollow-looking mouth, and then the tooth sits down into the mouth, makes it much more realistic. Using a small tip like a number 3, coat the bottom of the opening with black frosting. You don't want to fill the opening up to the top, just make the thinnest layer possible to create the open mouth appearance. Next, use a number 12 or about a 1/4 inch tip to pipe on the eye. You want the bottom of the eye to be about at the halfway point of the thickness of the cupcake. That positions it about right. Then use a flat tip or a number 47 to pipe on the tooth. With a number 5 tip, about 1/8 of an inch, and a dark green frosting, pipe on the spots. Once this is done, the cupcake should be set aside for an hour or so to allow the white and dark green to crust over. The reason we need to do this is that as they're piped on, because we're dealing with buttercream, there are points on all of these decoration items, and they begin to look more like chicken pox than spots. After the crusting, we can push the points down and it'll look much better. Okay, it's been an hour later, and again, using the paper towel trick, just squash any high points down, including the tip of the tooth, and you'll end up with a much more realistic face. like that. It's all right for the eye to bulge outward, makes it look kind of comical. It's not all right, because it's not natural, to have the pupil, the dark spot, to bulge outward. So what we're going to do is the same thing we did for the mouth. Using a skewer, the dull end of a skewer, with a little bit of paper towel, create a slight dimple that can be filled in with black frosting to create the pupil. It'll lie flat and look much more realistic. After the black used to pipe the pupils has crusted over a little bit, touch it down so that it is also flat. Otherwise you'll have a point there that just won't look natural, even on a Martian. Play with the designs a lot. I prefer the Cyclops Martians, but most of the kids prefer the cross-eyed versions. There's a lot of flexibility in this, and you want to avoid doing all the same type, because then it looks like a tray full of Martian clones. I hope you enjoyed this video and you'll try these cupcakes. Thank you for watching.